When you think of breweries, you don't usually think of things like a Saturday morning coffee or yoga or visions of an endless summer. You usually think of things like a vast, dark warehouse setting, Triple M favourites on the radio, and beer nerds and stag parties all getting a little bit out of hand. And in a world of copy and paste breweries, I thank God that places like Freshwater Brewing Company exist and thrive. This is Beyond the Pass. Good place to start. Talk to me about your history in the industry. How did you get into beer in the first place?
I've been working bars and cafes since I was a wee lad, and it was always just something to make a bit of money. I never really saw it as much of a career. When I started getting into more managerial roles and I moved into a brewery on the Northern Beaches, I sort of realised that I could actually make a bit of a career out of it. Luckily, I already really enjoyed beers, so the two just went hand in hand.
So I sort of bounced around from big breweries and little breweries, then picked up a pretty unhealthy habit for home brewing. So the two things can really change your trajectory in life.
Is there any absolute nuggets of wisdom that you guys have learned that you've been able to bring?
We're both pretty excited about the idea of doing something our way. If you stand for something, then everything else falls into place. You know, if everyone's the same, the customer doesn't get choice, and it's a bit of a boring world. There's plenty of other people that'll be doing other great things, so just do your thing and doing it well.
Most people hadn't been inside a brewery. They haven't really seen the tank. They haven't seen how the sausage is made. So for a lot of people, it's a new experience. So I like to, why don't you come have a look? Try some beer off the tank. Because a lot of people, that sort of experience blows their mind. That side of the customer service thing, going above and beyond, I feel like it's a bit of a pillar. If there were 6 breweries around here, which there are, and everyone offered the same thing, brewery that has the best customer experience and the nicest people is going to be the one that generally does the best. Johnny gave me a call and said, I'm thinking about opening up this brewery. And we'd always joked when we used to work together that when he was ready, I'd come and run it for him. So I got the call up and I thought, yeah, shit, how hard could it be? Let's get stuck in, eh? Right as we were ready to really burn some rubber, Chloe came on as our venue manager and one of our founders, and then the final piece of the puzzle was Brett coming in. So it just meant that we had this great tight-knit group that was ready to get some hands dirty.
Tell me about the different techniques you guys use. So do things a little bit different with the brewing, do things a little bit different with the pouring? Yeah,
well, I think for us, we always wanted to have a focus on crisp, easy drinking beers.
Yeah.
We're 5 minutes from the beach, and so that has made quite a big decision making around what style of beers. And so really 90% of our beers that we brew are lagers. When you decide to do lagers, you just need to get things set up differently. So sort of number one most obvious thing that's different about our brewery setup is we've got lagering tanks. They're just these horizontal tanks that have secondary fermentation whereby the lager just ferments out slowly for a long period of time. When it comes down to lagers, the magic is in the yeast, and the yeast just sort of does its own little thing, and those tanks are tapped straight into the beer lines. We've got a Luca tap, which is a Czech side pour tap. We've got a couple of them, and they're a bit unique, they're a bit niche, but if you're going to go through that full brewery experience, they're like nothing else.
Do you know what would go well with it? I reckon some tacos.
Oh.
I know a guy.
You know a guy? Yeah. Let's go and meet a guy.
Let's do it.
Let's make some tacos.
Yeah.
Chris?
Hey, how you going, mate?
Not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, good.
So, we're going to make some braised brisket tacos today?
Yes, braised in our smoked Helles lager. I've got everything set up. Let's get started. We're going to start with some white corn tortillas.
Yep.
We're just going to warm them through. I've got the braised brisket here. Obviously, we braise it for about 6 hours. So what I want you to do is take this compound mayonnaise. This is our sriracha Kewpie, so a little bit spicy, a little bit salty.
Yeah.
And dress our coleslaw, and then evenly distribute the coleslaw on the tacos.
Easy.
I believe in you. I know you can do this. I'll take care of the meat. You got the rest.
Equally
then,
on
just
each?
equally down the center. We're gonna build a little salad on top of these tortillas.
Okay.
Oh, very nice. Do you want a job? We're hiring.
Mate, if I ever say yes to going back into the industry, please, please kill me.
The next component is going to be the brisket itself.
Yeah.
We're going to pile that on top evenly. That's all that sticky barbecue sauce. So now we'll go with the charred corn salsa. Just put a line of each on either side of the taco. Charred corn, yeah, that's good.
Yeah?
Charred corn, jalapenos, capsicum, zest and juice of limes. Good stuff. House pickled red onions, just for a little bit of sweetness and astringency. Just a couple.
Just a little pinch?
Yeah, just a little pinch on both of them. And then to balance out that sweetness, we're gonna present the guests with a couple of limes for them to squeeze. And then, now I'm Canadian, so where I come from, this is still called cilantro, but I believe you guys call it coriander.
Coriander.
So there we go. There are our smoked Hellas lager braised brisket tacos.
Incredible stuff, Chef.
Thanks for your help.
Thank you, thank
Awesome.
you. Lads, they are going to be some of the most shoddily put together tacos in the world. Your food offering's a little bit different to other breweries.
Straight from the get-go, we knew that we didn't just want burgers and pizzas and food trucks. We wanted to have an offering that really reflects what freshwater is to us. We do as much of this stuff in-house as we possibly can, so from pickling to brining olives, making hummus, tzatziki, beetroot dips, our own tortillas, all that sort of stuff. Something that you're happy to eat every day.
The general vibe of your brewery feels like no one's alienated, everyone's welcome.
It's quite easy to go to kind of a man cave, kind of blokey kind of vibe, but we were thinking, well, let's open it up. Let's be community focused. Nothing makes us more excited by seeing a nice mix of characters that are having a good time and then they come back. That's always great.
Going even further beyond the beers to try and get people in and give them something to do and try and utilise such a good space. You guys put on some pretty cool events, some pretty cool initiatives, I guess.
You've been to a brewery before, you've probably seen the classic dad rock band on a Saturday night, which frankly I love sometimes. It's an absolute riot. We just try and look at some things that people aren't doing. We had a really great event the other night, Surf Shapers, which basically involved a bunch of different local shapers from the northern beaches and around Australia coming down and sharing a little bit of insight around the craft. We've had fashion shows in here. We've had inquests for roller discos. We have markets in here quarterly. We've got a massive venue here, so we do our best to lean into that and make sure it fits with our brand.
We meet once a month and have a chat about initiatives. It's like, should we do a collaboration beer, or should we do a festival, or should we do X, Y, and Z? And it's great. It's the way you should be. We're all a load of small businesses hustling, working hard, and with so much passion. If you can collaborate and work together, it just makes everyone's life easier.
I'll drink to that.
Cheers.
That's all I've got. I've got nothing else.
You got so much more. Did you see my dog?
Do you want to see me walk my dog? Or? You've got to pull that one short.